Great job, Nicole. Here you go, one permit, and why don't you take a couple days off? You've been working very hard at this, and I hear the others want to throw you a little party to celebrate. So don't worry about working on the next episode, I can do that by myself. Hey guys, Ognajteff here, and welcome to our brand new settlement at Per-Wadjet, also known as Buto by the Greeks. And this is our little oasis amongst the Nile Delta, a rather temperate region that was a bit more humid and less deserty than the rest of the whole of Egypt was in general. So this area here will be our little home for the next few episodes, where we build up, do a few industries, worship a few gods, and see how the city unfolds. Okay, so after a quick look around to just get our bearings and figure out what we're actually going to be building and where, what kind of works, we're going to build a couple signs so that we can sort of demarcate what we're putting where. And it should note that I'm not married to any of these choices, so if I think something works better later, I can sort of just change around the signs a little bit. I don't really care. But for one thing I don't think I'm going to change is this. We're going to build a temple here on this sort of central hill, because it overlooks sort of this entire area that I want to build at. So, speaking of things I'm probably not going to change, here, down in this little valley next to the hill, would actually make a really good industrial zone. I'm thinking specifically something to do with reeds, maybe like a paper industry, a reed mat industry, something along those lines. Because those would have been actually very prevalent in the Nile Delta region, so that's good there. Next up is maybe a residential zone over in this direction. Yeah, like just a central residential, so res, I guess. What else? We're gonna need farms somewhere. Farms and fishing, actually. I did farms last time, so I really want to start with a fishing dock somewhere. The whole idea being just change up the sort of source of our food a little bit, you know? And, I'm not too fond of putting a fishing dock here. It's a bit enclosed, so we'll put the farms here, and then maybe this way, which is closer to the actual ocean, we'll put the fishing docks. Yeah, actually, this is a nice little bay area. That might work. Once again, not married to these decisions. I might choose to move these around a little bit, but this should work it well as sort of like a pier of some sort. And then, I guess one last sign, maybe another industrial zone or maybe another residential zone on this side of the temple. This one I'm a little less sure about. I'll just put like residential 2 or something like that and just move on to the next area. So, speaking of moving on, let's pick one of these and just start building and see what we get. So, the first thing we really want to do here is a bamboo mining session. So just gonna grab a little bit, use the axe, just put it down and pop a few shoots back up. That should be enough for now. And the whole idea is we want to build bamboo blocks, because this is a very historical thing. Not necessarily bamboo, but reeds. So the Egyptians would have used reed mats. There we go, that's the recipe there. Would use reed mats as flooring. So you have the vertical version of it, kind of like logs, but you also have this horizontal, and that's what we're going to use for the flooring in our various houses across this new village. I don't know about you guys, but I am actually quite sick of having to sleep very exposed like this, and I especially don't want a creeper to blow up the bed, so let's say we go make ourselves a nice place to live. Okay, so looking around, there's this hill over here that's really starting to speak to me. So this is just past the area where I put the residential sign, so this is perfect. So yeah, right up here I think would be a perfect spot to just build a little house. We got a nice little view of the river. Maybe I could put like a fishing dock nearby. Just going to like cut down a little bit of the top here, get some dirt and other materials. You know how it is, just sort of flatten it out a little bit. Alright, let's see. How do I want to build this? Well, perhaps I'll use a pisse structure. So, pisse is the rammed earth styled huts that I mentioned a while ago when we were talking about the mud bricks. And mud bricks were a Naqada invention. This is not Naqada, this is actually a sort of parallel culture called the Maddi culture, or the Maddi-Buto culture. Buto being in reference to the town we're building right now. So I'll be combining a few different sort of cities, as it were, villages, that belongs to this culture group, and kind of combining them into this one structure. So, for example, Sais, Maddi, and Buto would all be different city sort of in this region, but this one sort of building I'm doing will sort of, this one little town, I should say, will be sort of reminiscent of sort of a collection of all of them. But yeah, so our first structure here is actually going to be a rammed earth-styled structure. The whole idea being you pack the earth manually into a sort of mold of some sort and compress it and just use time, gravity, and just compression to form a wall. And then on top of that, we've dug into the earth a little bit because, interestingly enough, we don't know what the houses of this era would have looked like. All we have in terms of remains are actually just post holes for little wooden posts you would have stuck into the ground, and then depressions which would have been the floors. So you would have dug a little mound into the ground because it's thermo heating / cooling, thermal heating / cooling. Basically, you use the earth as a cooler / heater for your construction needs, and then you can get away with just a very simple structure over the little pit you've dug. And the whole idea here is you dig into the ground, you put up a few posts. In this case, we're doing some rammed earth, and then it's literally just a little bit of a hut. And in this case, we're going to do a little bit of an open-aired hut, which means I am heavily incentivized to light up the area so skeletons can't get me while I try to sleep. Speaking of lighting things up, there we go. And for the floors, I mentioned that the bamboo would be perfect for this. There we go. It actually does look like reed mats, which is precisely what the Egyptians would have used for their flooring. Earlier I was using the wood because I wanted a sandstone-like color, but with a different texture. This time I'm going with a strictly historical basis what I'm using. There we go, and it looks like I actually made just enough here. Yep. There we go, and that is our own personal little hut, mostly completed. Just need a few finishing touches, and just gotta grab all of our stuff from the hill. And now to demonstrate precisely why I wanted to bring some shulker chests. So all I need to do now is just destroy all these things, and then just pop all the little extras into the shulker boxes, minus those chests, though. I'm gonna need those. There we go. Anyway, so this is just a very quick and easy way to do all this collection, and then I can just drag everything back to the main hut. Speaking of, I'll meet you there. Okay, so arriving back at the house, it's all just a matter of getting everything set up. So we got our chests, our bed, we've got, where are they? Oh wait, yeah, they're in the shulker boxes. What am I doing? Ugh. Okay, so shulker box is there and there for now. Oh, well, that's a little ugly. I don't know why I'm caring about this. I'm gonna be moving everything around eventually anyway. There we go, crafting bench. Yeah, no, that's gonna be moved too. Eventually, though. So, let's see. Let's make a furnace here. We're gonna need one of those for cooking up the food and other materials. And yeah, let's just move this. Like, yeah, there we go. There we go. So, crafting bench there, shulker there. There we go. We got ourselves a complete inner area here. Okay, so at this point, it's mostly just a matter of sort of getting ourselves up a little gate, because right now I am extremely exposed, and if a creeper were just so happen to spawn and spot me while I'm in bed, this entire place goes up. So, let's get a gate down and then some fences, and now it's all done. And don't worry, yes, I will get to that piece of dirt later, hopefully. Okay, so the next little thing on our list of things to do is explore a little bit, honestly. I just kind of want to see what's down over this way. Specifically, I want to find some sugarcane. I see some from here. Good. Okay, so, because one of the other major things alongside the reeds that we're going to be doing in this town will be papyrus. So that would have been a major industry in the region, so we want as much of the sugarcane as possible so we can make paper, so we can make books, and possibly get better enchantments on gear later. So, there we go, get these, and let's get them planted back near the house. Okay, so our next priority here is actually going to be the fishing wharf. So, let's see here. Yep, this works like this, there we go. Okay, yeah, so the whole idea is we're going to be building this one level up from the water, because the whole idea is the water is going to flood in and flood the crops, so we need this to sort of be one level up. That way, during the flood sort of season, we don't lose our fishing wharf, which will be sort of our food supply during the flood, alongside any of our harvests. So just gotta pull this out a little bit, just build it up a bit, there we go. And then build a few more of these, like, wooden pillars into the water, just as support beams for the dock. There we go. I know it's not technically necessary, but at the same time, it's necessary to me. There we go, and boom. So I should probably talk a little bit about sort of the, like, fishing on the Nile. So, a few things. First off, the fish of the Nile were many and various. So you have some such as the Nile perch and tilapia. You also have various catfish, lungfish, mudfish, and various other species that would have been caught up and down the Nile River. And these would have provided a very great, actually, form of protein for the commoner and for the wealthy alike. Especially since, for example, Nile perch can grow up to be, what, like 2 meters? So the size of a person, if not bigger in size. So, pretty good amount of meat on those bones. Alongside that, though, fish would still always be, in the Egyptian diet, a secondary or even tertiary food source after grain. Especially in later times when agriculture had really sort of developed. And it should be noted, agriculture developed earlier in the lower Egyptian delta area as compared to Upper Egypt. So the amount of fish to grain sort of varied depending on region and time. But fish would still be a pretty good source of protein. Also, since this village is supposed to represent one of the earliest villages in Egypt in the delta region, it can still be sort of noted that during this time period, foraging, fishing, and some agriculture, yes, but mostly these more subsidiary or tertiary, secondary food sources would have been primary to the health and wellness of the village and its people. However, it should be noted that just building a fishing dock is not enough. We need some place to store the fish. After all, the Egyptians wouldn't have eaten everything they caught immediately. They still would have had to salt and preserve at least something to eat for later. Now, in later times, you would have more and more advanced sort of storage techniques, particularly in the modern era with refrigeration. However, back in ye olden days, aka before the 1800s and 1900s, the only real option was salting and then storing underground in a cooled environment. Earlier, when I mentioned digging into the earth in order to get a bit of a thermoregulative effect from the sort of natural state of the earth itself, that would be the primary means of refrigeration. So you would build into the earth here, and then from the earth you would get a cooling effect, so your meat would rot like a lot less quickly, for example. So this would be a perfect sort of area to just build into the sort of cliff face here, just below our house, and just build up a nice little storage depot. Now we want to go in a little bit while I fiddle with the roof here. Yeah, so we just want it to go in a little bit here. We don't want it to be too big, especially since we'll eventually have to build a well somewhere around here. Once again, drinking from the river is fine, but you're also sharing that river water with, say, the fish, the animals, the plumbing. So, yeah, getting a specialized well would probably be good, so we just want to get just a short area just built into the side here. Maybe just a couple cubbies where I can stick some chests, and this can sort of be where the food is being sort of kept and salted and cooled sort of thing. So just a couple cubbies here. Let's just look around, get some, yeah, like right here, here. Just like this little effect. Then these are just large enough I can put a double chest in each. And then have some torches just to light up the place. And then I'll sort of mirror it. No, not really mirror it. Just copy it on this side here. And, yeah, same sort of deal. Just get enough space for some double chests. And hope I don't break on the outside on this wall. Nope, I'm good. So, yep, just speaking of double chests, I'm going to have to go grab those, don't I? I'll be right back. Okay, so next up on our list of things to do is add some ladders here to the dock, because, quite frankly, I want to be able to get out of the water if I fall in, and not have to swim all the way around. As you can see, I also put some chests in the storage area there. And, yeah, maybe another set of stairs here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So now if I fall into the water, I don't need to swim all the way around to get up. I just need to go up here. So, perfect in that regard. Let's see, what else? We need a way to get up and down this cliff face, because, quite frankly, it's kind of annoying having to jump up here. So let's see what I can find in the house. Let's see, got some stone smelting. Oh, cobblestone. Yeah, I can make some stairs. I mean, it'd be nice if we could get, like, a dirt ramp sort of deal, but a dirt ramp is literally what I'm replacing here, so I guess stairs will work. Just sort of flatten it out sort of deal. There we go, and then boop, 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 and straight up here. Perfect. Not quite perfect. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I just need a piece of dirt for there. Well, this one will do. Here we go. So, there we go. We got ourselves a nice little staircase that leads all the way down to our dock. Perfect. And then we just got to add a little bit of a pathway here, connect everything up, and then I'll have to do the same up the stairs in a little bit. There we go. So we got our nice storage area. Maybe expand the path over here. There we go. So we got our nice dock, we got our storage area, and we got a way to get to it. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so we are missing one last little thing, and that is a boat. So the Egyptians would not have used sort of the same, like, log canoes you'd see over in North America, nor the sort of wooden ships you'd see in Europe or, say, not Africa. This is Africa. Europe or the Middle East. Instead, they would use reed boats. So we're going to turn the bamboo into bamboo planks, and, wrong one. There we go. And we're going to create some bamboo rafts, because these are perfect sort of analogies to the reed boats that the Egyptians would have used in both the Delta region and the upper Egyptian highlands. There we go, and let's place them down and see how they look. Yep, okay, yeah, that is actually a perfect little thing here, so now we can go fish in deeper waters, and I fell in. There we go. So, just gotta... Oh, that's weird. They're like opposites. Huh. Okay, I guess that's a thing. And now for our final little segment here, we're going to build up a couple houses. So this single house and fishing dock goes from just a little sort of fisherman on the shore to an actual village. And you will recognize these designs from the other village, except now we're going to be using more local materials. So this is your standard round wattle and daub sort of house. We're going to clear out some dirt. We're going to dig into the earth again. We're going to sort of lower this whole thing down here. There we go. And just sort of get like some logs and some packed mud in there. And this is once again supposed to sort of represent a wattle and daub like structure so that people can live in here. And instead of wood floors, we'll go with more reed mats. Speaking of reed mats, there we go. This is just the bamboo planks that we we're making the boats out of. There we go. And okay. Boop. There we go. Better. And I can finish the actual interior decorating a little later. Now we just gotta finish off the sort of roof here using the jungle leaves, which once again, local materials. And same deal with the support pillars there. Those are jungle logs instead of acacia. So the whole idea is I'm just gonna use local materials as I'm building the various houses. So with that one done, I've furnished it up a little bit. Let's see, what else do I want to build? How about a second house? Where should I build this? Well, okay, here this one works. Once again, standard design, you know how this one works. Just build it up sort of deal. Carve down. And, I don't really like this, so I'll rotate it a little bit. There we go, that's better. So, with the things built up, here is the normal bamboo thing, and, whoop. Actually, that doesn't look bad. Yeah, I'll do like, yeah, like that, and then I'll just build up around it. There we go. We'll have a little bit of pattern in this floor here. That actually doesn't look quite right. Maybe if I do it like this. There we go. Yeah, so that's a nice little pattern we can do just because the orientation of how these little bamboo mats go. Otherwise, I guess it's just sort of doing the furnishing again, and then putting the roof on top of this thing. So get the crafting bench. Let's create a couple fences so I can fill in the windows, because that's an important thing too. We don't want any skeletons poking in and saying hello to whoever lives here. Then otherwise, I guess it's just a couple chests and such, and a bit of lighting. Let's see, I'll probably do most of that off screen, so... What say I get a door on here, and we move on to the roof. Alright, so the actual insides are now all furnished. It's literally just the roof here. Just pop that up. There we go. And finish the roof like always. So, I think this will be the extent of the houses I build. Less because I don't really have time, and less because I'm sort of out of... sort of inspiration. It's more so I'm out of materials and I'll have to grind some of those. So I'm not quite done. I still feel like there's something missing around here. But I am done for housing at the moment. Oh, now I remember. It's the well, that's it. That's what I wanted to do. So let's just see. Where's the space over here? Yeah, this will work. A little too close. Well, if I move it up one over like this, yeah, so one up and over. Sort of put it only one down, because I'm pretty sure that there is actually the roof to the storage area just below here, so it'll just be a shallow well. Sure, I mean, you have the problem with maybe mosquitoes sort of breeding in shallow water, but I'm sure it will be fine. Speaking of actually mosquitoes in shallow water would actually have been a major concern for the Egyptians at this time, with malaria being a massive killer. So yeah, we will have to keep an eye on mosquitoes. But otherwise, I'm thinking we're just going to add some just some benches here, just a nice little detail for some sitting and some relaxing just by the well, get a nice drink and a nice conversation perhaps. And I think this will actually be the finishing touch of the sort of starter village here. We've got a couple houses, we got ourselves a well. I'm not 100% sure on that tree. I mean, it does provide shade. Yeah, you know what, I'll just keep that. Yeah, that's a good enough tree, I think. And with that, I think we are done. And we are done. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Ognajteff. I'm going to do a bit of fishing here, and I'll catch you guys all next time on the road to the Old Kingdom, as we build up Per-Wadjet, or Buto, our second city. See you guys then.